Good evening and welcome to the Pelican Sports Post-Game Show. LSU gets beat by Troy 24-21. That's the final Tiger Stadium. I'm Tommy Christ and along with Buddy Sanji. Buddy, where do we begin?
Well, unfortunately, folks, it's another night where I have to wear the sunglasses. It was some kind of ugly, unfortunate that the Tigers were careless with the football tonight, TK. I know Coach O is going to mention that right out of the gate, that they had way too many turnovers. But some real disconcerting things happened in this game, TK. I hope everybody doing all right. Look, we want to hear from you at 928-4910. We would appreciate it if you not make it too personal and get silly and say all the derogatory things that happen after a loss like this. But TK, all I'm going to say in this opening segment is that the decline is real. LSU is not a shadow of the program that they were. And that first half was about as bad a football as you and I have watched in a long time.
Well, and here's why the decline is real, buddy. They've played 5 games, okay? They beat BYU 27-0. Everybody said, yay! Well, BYU has done absolutely nothing.
They're horrible.
Okay? Then Chattanooga, that don't count. Mississippi State beats the heck out of LSU, whips them physically, and proceeds to get whipped twice in a row by Georgia and Auburn, all being on the road. Then LSU barely gets by Syracuse, who got clocked again today. Troy comes in here from the Sun Belt Conference and takes it to LSU, breaks the 49-game non-conference win streak, breaks the homecoming win streak. It's ugly. There's a lot of problems, as you and everyone has said. It's almost like don't know where to start, and I guess instead of pointing a finger in one direction, the whole thing's a mess. I don't know if you can find anything good about this football team through 5 games.
Well, I think the overwhelming problem that people will agree with is the line of scrimmage, TK.
And it starts right there. I agree with you 100%.
It starts at the line of scrimmage, and look, there's a disconnect with Coach O and Matt Canada on offense. That's a real problem. But tonight, and I know Coach O is going to mention this more than once, look, get me some stats on how many times they turned it over. I know Etling threw an INT, Brennan threw an INT, and they lost 2 or 3 fumbles. Give Troy credit. They came in here. They were fearless. I disagree with what the officials did at the end of the first half. I thought there was 1 second left when he got the ball. TK, if I'm correct, he didn't have a timeout, and yet they put 2 seconds back on the floor on the clock, wound the clock. Guy kicks a field goal that hits the crossbar and goes over. It was that kind of night. But I know Tiger fans are really, really hurting. So I want to interact with people, but I don't want to say too much more. But we have a lot to talk about in the next 90 minutes.
We will get some reports from the stadium with Brian Lazar of TigerBait.com and Ronnie Rance. But right now, lines are lit up. Text messages are lit up. Let's go to Chuck in Lafayette. Chuck, you're on the postgame show.
Hey, guys, how are you?
Chuck, listen to your phone, not the TV. We're doing well. Thanks for the call. How you doing tonight, bud?
Man, I just got to say, I'm telling you, you guys, SEC used to always be the premier conference out there. I just got to say, you guys losing to Troy, and we're struggling out there. We can't even put points on the board. And seeing Florida lose to Michigan, get dominated by Michigan, don't you think the SEC is struggling here and it's not the premier conference anymore? Because LSU's not carrying the bag anymore. They're not doing too well.
No, Chuck, it's not even close to look, everybody here locally is worried about LSU right now, but the conference has 2 decent teams. Alabama is certainly got a great chance to be in the Final Four. Georgia made another statement. Tennessee, I said it last week, Tennessee is the only team on the SEC schedule I think LSU can beat right now. Florida and Auburn, Chuck, are going to take them out back if they play even close to this, and LSU will have a losing record here in a couple of weeks.
It all goes to the trenches. I can't believe that you guys are getting, our guys, I guess LSU, us, we're getting pushed around on the line, and we don't have the skill players on the side to catch the ball or run the ball. This is not LSU football.
Thank you, Chuck.
Appreciate the call. Chuck, let's go to Red in Donaldsonville. You're on the postgame show.
Hey, Red.
How y'all doing, guys?
Good.
I was just saying, I was thinking, if we can put 21 points up against Troy, I our defense should be able to hold and win that game. I'll hang up and.
All right, thank you. The defense, nothing was good tonight. Yeah, they got 21 points, and they theoretically had a chance near the end, but it did not work out. Troy deserved to win the football game, the way I look at it. Let's go to Bill in Gonzales. Bill, you're on the postgame show.
Yeah, hi.
Hey, Bill.
I finally found y'all again. First time this year.
Well, good to talk with you again, Bill. I know it's a tough night for the Tiger Nation. By the way, Bill, before we get started here, let me give props to TK. He actually picked Troy 24-20. I thought he was crazy, Bill. I didn't like the fact that they were 21-point favorites last week and looked bad against Syracuse. And you and I talked, and I said 14-15. It was about 18 or 19. But TK saw it, and look, he doesn't feel good about it. But, Bill, the decline is real.
Oh, yeah, we have an average football team, and I think a lot of it is, I've just kind of got myself into it this year. This is a transition team at best. And it's, the defense doesn't tackle. I did see one thing in the defense in the second half. The boys themselves were taking over. They weren't looking towards the sidelines anymore. They were positioning themselves and telling the other fellows where to go. But then again, the last offensive play the Tigers had, Etling rolls out, under pressure. He had Gage wide open on the Tigers sideline. True time's running. They wouldn't have much time to do anything. But it's like they could have got a first down and at least had a shot in the end zone, because when they threw the ball down the field, they did pretty well. But y'all talked about Canada's offense last week, so enough said on that. But all these underneath crossing routes, they do well when they run the ball, heads up, and run it outside too, not just draws and traps all the time and dives. But throw the ball deep, stretch the field. They do very well. But, gee whiz, it's going to be rough hitting the conference. So what do y'all say?
Thank you, Bill. Yeah, no, it's, buddy, let's give it, we're getting dozens and dozens of texts. I want to get a few mentions of those, and then we're going to get back to the phone lines after a break. How about this one, buddy? LSU is going to lose to 3 teams from Alabama this year.
Troy,
Auburn and Alabama.
Alabama, and
If
Auburn.
LSU loses,
and then somebody texted me and said North Alabama could beat them.
If LSU loses out, will O get fired? No. They're not going to fire Ed Orgeron after this year, in my opinion. Does Canada make it to the end of the season? Now, I'm glad somebody brought that up. I think, this is TK's opinion, you got to make Ensminger the offensive coordinator tomorrow morning. Let Canada work with the quarterbacks, whatever. But it just has not worked. A little friction in the office, this whole simple it up, dumb it down thing, just not working. Sun Belt team comes in here and basically stifles you till the fourth quarter. I think when Ensminger was the offensive coordinator, it was yardage, it was records, they were running up and down the field. I think Orgeron needs to do that to have any chance of doing well in these next 7 games. I don't know how many they can win. If you look at tonight and you look at the snapshot of the first 5 games, I don't think they can win any of them. Maybe Ole Miss, I don't know, but it doesn't look good. A couple other text messages about why is Canada here. Let's see, I want to give a few more of them. Fire Joe Oliva. I mean, everybody's going to get pointed at.
Well, now that Joe has been brought into the discussion, here's the real problem that I have with the offensive coordinator and Joe Oliva. And look, Matt Canada put 76 on Syracuse last year. Matt Canada at Pittsburgh beat the defending Clemson, who ended up winning, and they're still really good. The problem is it looks like it's a square peg in a round hole. It doesn't look like it fit. But here's the real problem, TK. Joe Oliva took a guy making $575,000, and instead of giving him $1 million, he gave him $1.5 million. I said it last week. Only in America do you have a coach who's not coaching football 4 years ago that has a $3.5 million a year contract and a $12 million safety net. Board of Supervisors, F. King Alexander, Joe Oliva, you've let the fan base down.
All right, here's another text. Team in disarray, no leadership. It starts at the top. Do you guys think Orgeron last year? Yes. I don't think they'll fire him this year. Is Mickey Joseph in over his head? I don't know. We got plenty of texts. We got plenty of phone calls. We got guys holding. We got to get to a break. We'll come back with much, much more. Don't go anywhere. Send in those text messages, 504-689-9246. Send in the phone calls, 225-928-4910. We're back with Rocco and Sal after this pause on the Pelican Sports Postgame Show. Stay with us. Accord Eye Clinic Vision Source is located on Perkins Road in Baton Rouge, offering full-service optical and lab work. Dr. Shonda Accord and the professionally trained staff pride themselves on service, complete eye exams, help with contact lenses, and selection of frames featuring Silhouette, Gucci, Jimmy Choo, and all the top lines. State-of-the-art equipment including Optimap, which digitally photographs your retina. Call Accord Eye Clinic for an appointment, 225-767-3937. That's 225-767-3937. Visit the website, visionsource-br.com. All patients of all ages are welcome. Accord Eye Clinic, Vision Source.
Hi, I'm Bobby Yarborough with Manda Fine Meats. Here at Manda, we know what the folks of South Louisiana love. They love great flavored smoked sausage, delicious deli meats, and specialty items like boudin and andouille sausage. Manda Fine Meats has been providing these products since 1947. We produce them right here in Baton Rouge, so you know you're always getting the freshest product at your local grocery store. Manda Fine Meats. Taste the fresh local flavor in everything we make. Make it Manda every time.
Hello, my name is Debbie. Welcome to Debbie's Bridal, a Formal Affair.
My name is Raven. I work at Debbie's Bridal, and she makes your dreams come true.
Spread the roar. That's right, Tigers Roar. Each Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and New Orleans. Replays are Thursday through Saturday, and the show is available at youtube.com/Pelican Broadcasting. Tommy Chrysan and Jordy Holtberg will have the latest on LSU football, LSU sports, and sports from across Louisiana. Spread the roar. Tigers Roar on Pelican Sports TV.
No one can stop me when I taste the feeling. Nothing could ever bring me down. Nothing could ever bring me down. Taste the feeling.
24-21, Troy beats LSU, snapping all kind of streaks. And it was ugly, no doubt. Got a text message I want to read to you. Next year, Southeastern plays at LSU, and their fans are really upset tonight. They were hoping they could play them this year. Let's go to the phone lines. Rocco in Baton Rouge. Rocco, you're on a post-game show.
Oh, TK, buddy.
I need a Rocco poor boy to make me feel better.
Well, you're going to need more than that, bro.
You're right.
That was painful to watch tonight. I mean, okay, let's address the obvious. The lack of the efficiencies on the offensive line and the defensive line were just completely to get pushed around like a team like that in our home stadium was just awful to watch. I mean, it really was. And you know, I can't blame Orgeron for that. We all know, the times were there years ago with Les, and he fell off on recruiting. Having said that, I still can't tell you how disappointed I am with that offense and also around defense. I mean, it's ridiculous that, you have to sit through that as a Tiger fan with the money we're paying these guys. I mean, buddy, there was nobody in the freaking stadium tonight, man. It's homecoming. We're setting a bad precedent right now.
Yep.
And it's not, it's not going to get any better. You guys know that. And, I mean, you want to blame somebody, but who do you blame?
Well, I think
things are at Ogeron. I mean, he was the guy doing recruiting last year. So, I mean, it was awful all the way in, out, left, right, up, down, receiving, kicking. I mean, the whole game plan was just pathetic. It really was.
Yep, it was.
everything was bad about it, Rocco. You can't find anything good about it. You're right. They got pushed around by Troy. And I tell you, that last that last touchdown by Troy, LSU guys were just standing around when the ball was snapped. They had mailed it in, and that's not good, okay? And there's just a whole lot of problems, and that Orgeron better start tonight fixing them. Tomorrow morning is too late. He's got to start tonight. There's some problems in that locker room that surfaced again this week. Some guys that are being selfish, some guys that are running their mouth, not worried about the team. They're worried about themselves. You can never put yourself in front of the team. Coach Orgeron, I'm going to address it again. They're not going to fire him this year, in my opinion. He's still going to be the coach next year. So he had better do something about it now, because I don't know that he'd be the coach in 2019 if nothing gets better. Most importantly, he's got to get this team to commit to their teammates and to commit to quit being selfish.
Rocco, you mentioned the line of scrimmage. Look, if you go back in the tape, Chattanooga pushed LSU around. Syracuse pushed them around last week. And they are so thin at the line of scrimmage. Rock, look what happened tonight. Now, Christian Lockhart is playing his tail off. Greg Gilmore playing his tail off. But if you notice, Rock, when they would hit the ball carrier, they would always fall forward. Now, I used to talk to Nick Saban, and Jack Hunt used to get drug as a safety. And I'd say, how do you stop that? He says, you got to use your legs. If you notice, LSU is not form tackling. How about a great form tackling on Nick Brissett? That's the way you tackle somebody on the first play of the game. But if you want to go around with the blame, Rocco, 2 years ago with F. King Alexander and the politics, and then the botched coaching search with Joe and that embarrassment, and now Les mailing it in the last 2 or 3 years recruiting, and the fact that the foundation of the house is shaky without any good linemen. It's a mess, and look, you hit the nail on the head. This is not going to go away overnight, unfortunately.
The sad thing about it, buddy, is that, we have so many games coming up right now, and we're not even going to be competitive in a lot of them. And that's the reality of it. And, for, Marcus Spears to come out, last week and say what he said and tell the truth, and for people to get upset with him because he spoke the truth, it tells you everything you need to know. I mean, this guy here played for LSU when we were at the pinnacle of both sides of the ball being good on offense and defense of the line, and we're just not there. And for him to say what he had to say is true. We're not the program we used to be.
Nope.
We're mediocre at best. And it's sad to say it, but the reality is what it is. So,
all right, Rocco.
Thank you, buddy.
75 if we're lucky.
All right, buddy, somebody texted in and said they heard me saying they should make Ensminger offensive coordinator. They want to know what do you think should be the first move towards trying to fix this mess?
Well,
and I'm kind of blindsiding you there, so if you want to take a second.
I think the first thing that has to happen tomorrow is at the players-only meeting. The players have got to find out.
Quit worrying about individuals.
But the players have got to find out who the leaders are. And they need to air this out. There's a lot of problems. Etling's being pulled. Brennan's trying to do some things. They both threw INTs. Russell Gage, very dependable, drops a big third down conversion ball. How many turnovers did they end up having? You could pull that up for me. Is it 4 or 5? I don't think simply because of the money that they spent on Matt Canada that they're going to do that.
To answer your question, buddy, 4 turnovers.
Two fumbles, two
fumbles
INTs.
lost, 2 INTs. That's correct.
But I think players need to clear it out in a players-only meeting. Look, Coach O said this on Monday. You heard this, TK. We got to get back to playing LSU football. The problem is you don't have smash-mouth linemen where you can play what LSU's played, where you toss back to the tailback 27 times. So it's a mess. All I can tell you is right now Canada is a square peg in a round hole.
Let's go to Sal in Metairie. Sal, you're on a post-game show.
Yeah, this is Sal from Metairie.
Hey, Sal.
I've been listening and going to LSU games since I was about 10 years old. and now I'm 75, and this is as worse I've seen it in a while. I'm going to tell you where all this, I think, started from. They should have fired Les Miles 2 years before they got rid of him. I think Joe Oliva is a problem. They really need to look at him hard. He's a basketball type person. He don't know much about football, you know. And Les Miles was recruiting 3-star players, 4-star players. You got to get some 5-star players and a lot of the 4-star players.
Sal, let me say this. I don't think he's a basketball guy. He was at Duke and Krzyzewski was there. I could have been the AD at Duke. Krzyzewski would have still been Krzyzewski, okay? He hired Johnny Jones. That didn't work. All right, now, Will Wade appears to be a good hire, but they haven't played a game yet. But
no. Look, I was wrong, Sal. I thought Canada was going to come in and be to the LSU offense what Dave Aranda is to the LSU defense.
Right.
And he's taken a hit this year with some of the schemes and some of the botched coverages. But look, Joe Oliva played quarterback at Lehigh. He knows football. The problem that Joe has, Sal, is that he's a horrendous and horrific negotiator.
He spends too much money. I tell you what, he got rid of Jimbo Fisher. Jimbo Fisher didn't want to come here because he didn't. I don't think he trusted him after what he did with Les Miles. He fired Les Miles, but he did it in such a way that there was no trust left in him.
Then know where this problem started? When they gave Les that big raise and that extension.
Right, and he did the same thing with Orgeron. He gave
I know.
him, I think, too much money.
Sal, it's a mess. And look, hang in there. Although I got to tell you something, Sal, me and TK were texting. I think we'd all agree that's about as bad a first half as I've seen LSU play, maybe in decades, Sal.
Back to the Curly days at night against Florida, maybe.
Yep. Thank you, buddy.
I don't think they're going to win too many games this year. You know, if they win 5 games, they're going to win plenty.
Right now, it does not look good at all with the next 7-4 on the road.
That's it, you know.
All right, thank you, Sal.
Okay, doke.
All right, a couple of text messages, and we'll get to a break. I wonder if this game was in the binder that O gave to Oliva. Let's see, by the text message, I mean, we got hundreds of them. LSU will not make a bowl game this year. That's a distinct possibility. Buddy, why are you wearing sunglasses? Because he can't look at that stuff. Is that your answer? You can answer that. Why are you wearing sunglasses? Somebody wants to know.
We started this tradition a couple of years ago, and when they stink it up and lose, I wear sunglasses. I'm ugly enough to look at after a win. I'm going to spare you from having to look at my beady eyes tonight. I'm wearing sunglasses, but you missed it when I wore the bag after Mississippi State.
Let's get to a break. Keep the phone calls coming in. Keep the text messages flying. We appreciate all the attention. Unfortunately, LSU loses to Troy 24-21. Buddy Sanji, Tommy Chrysan, WUBR, CBS Sports Radio, Baton Rouge, and Pelican Sports TV, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, New Orleans, and on the internet. So check us out. After this pause, we'll be back.
Hi, I am Dr. Farrell Frugier Jr., and I am a general dentist at Frugier Family Dentistry. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to Catholic High School, LSU, and LSU School of Dentistry in New Orleans, where I received my DDS degree in 1986. I always have and will continue to be committed to continuing my education, to invest in technology which makes the diagnosis and delivery of dentistry more thorough, more comfortable, and more aesthetically pleasing. In our practice, we are here to serve the patients. We want to improve their quality of life and to develop relationships with our patients. In dentistry, we have a chance to impact lives on a daily basis, not just by doing dentistry, but by getting to know them and being a part of their life. We also believe in giving back to our community. So every year, we give back to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, Toys for Tots, and Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. Please stop by and visit our office. We would love to take care of you and your family.
Hooper Road Car Care in Central has been serving customers for over 24 years. Locally owned by Donald and Gina Gaspard, they provide all types of car care, including brakes, alignment, tune-ups, oil changes, AC service, transmission, computer diagnostic, and much more. Hooper Road Car Care also provides towing services. Call 225-262-7127. Open Monday through Friday, 7:30 to 5:30, 9695 Hooper Road in Central.
Jaguar Nation, I'd like to say thank you for your continued support of our student athletes and our coaches. Once again, you have shown America we have the greatest fans in the country. It's time. Football season. Season tickets are available. Go Jags.
Cypress Lake Apartments are conveniently located off Segan Lane in Baton Rouge, a CLK multifamily management property. Come see this community, which has many amenities including swimming pools, fitness room, playground, and much more. 1, 2, and 3 bedroom apartments. Stop by Cypress Lake Apartments, call 225-293-6789, or go online, live at cypresslakeapts.com. Sports post-game show. Don't forget about Laundry Diva. What is Laundry Diva? Pick up and deliver your dry cleaning, your linens, your bedding, your wash and fold. Drop your pants, never do laundry again. Again, they're on the campus for all the students, all the surrounding apartment communities. Pick up and delivery. Go to the website, laundrydivau.com. There's a student tab, laundrydivau.com. I've talked to a lot of guys starting to do all their dry cleaning there. They pick it up, they deliver it, or you can drop it off on Coursey Boulevard if you're running right by there. LaundryDivaU.com, 225-614-1326. And here's the deal. It's cheaper than going to the laundromat. It's cheaper than doing it yourself, and it saves you time. That's a great equation. Saves you time, saves you money. Laundry Diva for all your wash and fold, bedding, linens, and dry cleaning. They'll pick it up and deliver it for you. LaundryDivaU.com. 225-614-1326. All right, buddy, we're going to get to the phone lines, but how about this text, okay? This is big text. This is research somebody doing.
Okay.
Every college who has employed Ed Orgeron in the last 22 years has lost this weekend. LSU, USC, Tennessee, Ole Miss, Syracuse. The O syndrome. Regardless of who the coach is, no recruiting of linemen. Okay, there's a couple of texts before we get to Roy. Defense, bigger problem than the offense. LSU will only win 4 or 5 games. How will this affect recruiting? Buddy, if they only win 4 or 5 games, what does it do to recruiting? That's a very good text message.
You know, we'll talk about it on Wednesday, both on TV and radio with Mike Scarborough. But, you know, there's two sides of the story, TK. You see LSU. First of all, they have lost their home field advantage. This is the second week in a row you go and the stadium is dead. So this is really going to hurt recruiting a little bit. Now, you often will say, hey, come play in awesome Tiger Stadium. TK, it's like a funeral home right now. It sounded like a funeral home in the first half. But the other selling point is, hey, you can come and you can play early. I don't know if that's going to rock and roll with people as bad as they play.
Let's go to Roy in Lafayette. Roy, you're on the post-game show.
Okay. Yeah, listen, I got a couple comments. One is everybody's talking about these coordinators, but then y'all also mentioned how, and I'm looking at it, how horrible these lines are. I don't see how Ensming is going to be able to make a difference with what I'm seeing with these lines. And I think these guys need a chance. My big question is I understand that Orgeron, when he's doing his, before the season, he's promoting his team because he wants to sell season tickets. What I don't understand is how did the media, with this day and age, how did the media miss what I'm seeing? We don't have players, guys. And so I'm going to hang up, and I want to listen to the response about how could the media have missed it.
All right, Roy. Well,
Thank you, Roy.
The media will take some of the blame. Let's see. There was no media day this year. There was no fan day this year. There was no open practices to the media for the first 3 weeks. Now, listen, every coach has a prerogative on how he wants to run the program. One of the things that I thought we all saw with Les Miles is that it became Les's program, not LSU's. Ed Ogeron did not have a good year from a PR standpoint. You don't shut the media out, and if you do, you better be good, but no media day, no fan day. I had fan people, not going to that, and we know it's a silly event, the kids get involved, but TK, from a PR standpoint, so we didn't really get the chance to see anything. We can't talk about scrimmages because we can't see them. The bottom line, Roy, is if you'd been listening to this show for the last 2 years, we've been telling you the line of scrimmage has been weak. LSU doesn't have difference makers there, and they don't have snot knockers who throw people around like an empty Coke can. And when you see everybody falling forward against LSU, it's a very, very significant problem. And I'm sure Tommy Moffitt will get into some criticism this week. TK, they're not strong, they're not fast, and they're not deep. And he wants to know how we missed it.
Well, other than a handful of plays tonight, LSU got whipped on the line of scrimmage. Locketua had some good plays, and I'm sure there's other plays that were good. Okay, but they've been whipped on the line of scrimmage in just about every game they played, except maybe BYU. And I guess it starts there. Championship teams, good teams, it all starts up front.
Absolutely.
There's a lot of problems there, to say the very least. And I do agree with Roy's point that if Ensming is the offensive coordinator, but nobody can block, it doesn't matter who the offensive coordinator is. I get that, but this team needs some kind of spark. It needs some kind of jolt. Maybe that reassignment would be just that. Let's go to Scooter in Baton Rouge. Scooter, you're on a post-game show.
Hey, Tommy, how you doing, man?
Good, man. Hanging in there.
Well, I don't know if you watched the same football game I watched tonight, but this was very embarrassing.
Oh, it was pitiful, Scoot.
Well, Tommy, you lost to the fourth worst football team in the state of Alabama. I can name 3 other teams that are better than this team. And we got beat on the offensive line. We got beat on the defensive line. We got beat up and down the field. And, I'm sitting here wondering right now, I don't know if Coach O's way over his head, but something's going on in this program.
It's a long list, Scooter. I mean, could Coach O be over his head? He might be, and we'll find that out in time. But there's, as Buddy said, the offensive line, the recruiting that has declined the last couple of years. But I think Buddy's spot on when he says Matt Canada is a square peg in a round hole right now. Can that change? Time will tell. They talked about dumbing it down this week, keeping it simple to help everything. You got a true freshman playing right tackle with Charles over there due to injuries and the attrition that we saw. I don't think there was any intensity for the most part tonight. There's a lot of issues. I mean, if you're making a list, you need a couple of notepads to make a list. You're not going to do it with one sheet of paper.
Hey, Tommy, I can't blame all this on Coach O because
no, I don't either.
Our previous coach recruited all these kids, so I ain't got nothing to do with Coach O. But what he put on the field tonight was very, very embarrassing.
But Scooter, here's the thing. Okay, these are the players Coach O has. He can't go pick up guys off a practice squad. He can't make a trade. He can't get a waiver wire. But what he can do is have them mentally and emotionally ready to play. He can have control over the locker room, which he does not have. This locker room is fractured. I'm telling you that. I know that. They are bickering. There's too many individuals that are worried about themselves and where they're going to get drafted and what they're going to do with this, that, and the other. And they're not worried about doing what's best for the team. You never put an individual player in front of a team. I don't care if you're talking youth football, NFL, baseball, basketball, hockey, it doesn't matter. It's all about the team. And right now, this team did not run out on the field tonight to do anything for their teammates.
Scooter, about 10 years ago, you called me up on a radio show, and you said, I'm worried about Nick Saban coming in here and raiding the state of Louisiana. And I said, oh, Scoot, if you got Nick over at Alabama, it's going to keep LSU on their toes because to get to the SEC championship game, and obviously at that time it was the BCS, you got to go through Tuscaloosa. And we know that Nick brought a special feeling that we hadn't seen in 45 years back to the people of Louisiana, and we loved it. Then Les was able to do the same thing. But Scooter, Ed Ogeron did have a recruiting class last year. He was the coach with the first signing period. And he lost Travis Etienne, a really good running back, to Clemson. He lost Isaiah Buggs, a big D lineman that would be playing and starting for LSU, to Alabama.
Akers to Florida State.
He lost Akers to Florida State, which alienated Etienne. He lost 2 linebackers, Dylan Moses and Chris Allen. Moses formerly from U-High and Allen from Southern Lab. So I'm going to disagree a little bit. Now, you can say, well, wait a minute. Well, what's he been doing here, Scooty? He's been here 3 years, and he's been coaching D-line, and at one point he was the recruiting coordinator.
Well, let's go back to what Tommy said. I'll go back to what Tommy Christand said. And listen to what I'm telling you. Brother, I played college football. I know how it is. But, hey, I don't know what's going on in this program. I don't know if they're kneeling. I don't know what's going on. But this is not a good football team that they putting out in Tiger Stadium tonight.
All right, buddy.
It's just not
We know that, Scoot. All I'm trying to say is that everybody wants to give O a pass on his recruiting. I'm not.
I'm not either.
He lost 5 kids that LSU wanted to Alabama, and the reason he lost them is because he pissed off Nick Saban when he went after that Hawaii quarterback, the 5-star, because him and that boy Lane Kiffin wanted to talk trash, and you see what it got him.
Scooter.
It almost lost you the commitment of Miles Brennan.
Scooter, I know a player in the state of Louisiana, very good one. LSU has no interest in him. Alabama's been visiting him every week. I'll just leave that at that. He's about an hour from Baton Rouge. Some people can figure that out, but I'll just say that right here.
Enough blame to go around for everybody, Scoop.
Hey, listen to me, buddy. You disagreed with me about 7 years ago when Nick Saban left this university, and I said, you know what? Nick Saban's got ties in this state. He's got ties in this state. And Terry Saban owns half a damn Government Street. Okay? You disagreed with me. You said, Scooter, what are you talking about? I said, well, I'm going to tell you what. Nick Saban's got ties in this state.
Well, it's 11 years, though, Scoot, not 7.
Okay, 10 years ago.
And he's got handlers in A-Meet and all over the state, and he knows how to do it.
Well, I mean, look at the football team they put on. It's a well-fine all machine.
The only same thing that Alabama and LSU have in football in common right now is that they're in the SEC. That's it.
Well.
Got to go, Scoot. Thank you, buddy.
All right, we got a quick text message. If LSU does not pay the $12 million buyout, they'll get hit with ticket sales next year. The stadium will be empty. This is all about coaching, not about talent and players. Can you explain Canada's square peg in a round hole? The offensive system he's put in is not working. I know the offensive line is not as good this year as what was out there last year, and you don't have as much return in that receiver. But, you know, you got to believe there's still talent. They've been a top 10 recruiting class for years and years, even though it has slipped. So that's what I mean by that. All right, we got to get to a break, and then we're going to have Paul in Shreveport, Craig in Baton Rouge. You guys hang in there. We're back right after this pause. Troy 24, LSU 21. Stay with us.
For Total Home Pest Control, who are you going to call?
Call the Bug Man, 923-BUGS.
For total pest control for your home or business, call the original Salvant.
Call the Bug Man today, 923-BUGS.
When my wife and I started Relief Windows, what we were trying to do, what our goal was to give a quality job to a homeowner. Everybody's scared of contractors. We wanted to change the mold of what that is. Not showing up on time, not answering the phone, somebody running with your money. The reason why you should pick Relief Windows to do your renovation of your home, windows, doors, hardy plank, or siding, is because of the experience, quality service of our company. Service is everything we have. It's the foundation of our company. We're going to show up on time. We're going to do the job right. Over 60% of our customers is customer referral. We're a local company here in Baton Rouge, built in Baton Rouge, staying in Baton Rouge. Okay. The job's not done until you're happy and we're happy. It's built the old-fashioned way, with a handshake. Here at Relief Windows, it's an honor to be official window, door, and siding company of LSU Athletics, from one winning team to another.
I'm Roger Kadar. I'm here to tell you about Smith, Shanklin, and Sosa. You won't find them on billboards, but you'll find them in the courtroom where real lawyers are. You see, billboards do not solve cases. Real trial lawyers do. So if you're hurt and need a lawyer, call 225-223-6333.
Looked up to the skies, I see desire in your eyes, but you can't keep it in your heart. 'Cause misery loves company. 'Cause misery loves company. Cold and hungry like a dog in the street. I get a raw deal every one.
We continue with the Pelican Sports Postgame Show, buddy. I've just received a text that Coach Orgeron said giving the ball to Brissett was bad game planning, and he was unaware that that would happen. He basically just threw Canada under the bus. It's cracking over there with that report right there. He threw his offensive coordinator under the bus. Maybe he will make co-coordinators or change that tomorrow. He just flat out said that was bad game planning, and he was unaware that that would happen. So he wasn't aware of the offensive game plan. All right, these guys have been holding, and I got a question in here about the locker room that I will get to. Paul in Shreveport. Paul, thank you for holding. You're on a post-game show.
Hey guys, how y'all doing tonight?
Hanging in there.
Well, I got to tell you, I've never been more disappointed watching a LSU football team on the field as I was tonight. It looked like to me that the players didn't want to be there. I don't see how the coaches all of a sudden couldn't coach after last season. I can't blame it all on the coaches at this point. I just see a football team from the BYU game to now that has regressed each week, and I don't see it getting any better at this point. Do you guys see a silver lining with this season right now with this team?
Paul, TK saw this coming. I didn't see it. Obviously, we talked to you. I talked to your buddies before you got there, and I was very despondent about the direction. I did not think they would lay this bad an egg. But look, on the square peg round hole, for those that don't understand, Matt Canada came in here with all of this motion, and TK, one of the things I kept telling people in the offseason, you're going to get entertained, you're going to have fun, you're not going to be able to predict the play call. And it was back to the same old stuff with worse results. And, Paul, they're getting moved out at the line of scrimmage on almost every play. The defense did rally a little bit in the third and fourth quarter, but still gave up way too much yardage. I know Coach O was despondent. They gave up 206 yards rushing, had a lot of injuries. But there are so many problems that this is a big mess, and I don't know if it can get fixed this year. But Canada has not come in and done what we thought he would do. And you look at every phase of the game, Paul, LSU is lacking right now. Tell me one thing they did good tonight. One thing.
Let me add to your Canada square peg round hole thing. When you're at Pittsburgh and you're playing Clemson, you have to try to balance the scale a little bit with a lot of motion and this and that and some misdirection and some dekes and some deception and all that, because Clemson's got better talent than Pittsburgh. But you get down to LSU, and again, I keep saying it, maybe the talent's not there. We know the offensive line is probably the worst.
Our defensive line.
The offensive line is probably the worst they've had in a long time. Defensive line ain't far behind it right now, and that's where it starts. And when Troy from the Sun Belt, with all due respect, when they can come in and push you around for 4 quarters on your field, holy smokes, it's not good at all.
Paul,
what else
you
you got,
another
Paul?
thing real quick. The players were despondent. TK, we mentioned this during our Texas. They look disinterested tonight, Paul.
I agree. I think this is the first time I saw a team didn't really care if they won or lose on the field. And that's going to kill this program for a while. Not to mention the tap donors and the boosters.
Well, and Paul, it goes back to what a person said earlier on a text message line. Will this affect recruiting? Yes. What happened tonight and what might happen in October will definitely affect recruiting. And if they get clocked by Florida next week, that's a 2:30 kick. We'll be here about 6 o'clock. Auburn's going to come in here a big favorite. There's going to be less people than were there the last. It was only 65,000 last week. I don't know the actual number tonight, but it's no higher than that.
Paul, when did the stadium start to leave?
I'd say to the very end. But
you did, but
yeah, I'd say. But when did most of the fans start to leave?
Before the game started, because the stadium looked empty like after halftime of the previous game, and then you knew it was going to get worse after halftime.
Right.
And it was just a steady stream out. They didn't have any recruits on the sideline tonight, did they?
Yes, they did.
All on unofficial.
They might have left as well.
Unofficial visits, no officials.
Let's hope they got them out of there and took them to get a nice piece of steak or something.
Oh, man, I hope they took them to a pizza or something.
All right, Paul.
Hang in there, buddy.
Thank you, Paul. All right, 2 questions. What's the deal with the locker room? There's too many individuals. You got guys saying they're the best cornerback in the country, and they couldn't cover Buddy. Okay, you got guys that want to ride ATVs and tweet out telling fans to burn all their purple and gold stuff. It starts right there. There are other problems, and when you put 85 guys, 100 guys in a locker room, you're going to have some difference of opinion. You're going to have some people that don't get along. But the locker room is fractured right now. I've got that from good sources inside that things aren't good. Buddy pointed out that there's friction between Canada and Orgeron earlier in the week with this whole simplifying the thing, and then Orgeron flat out threw him under the bus in the post-game show tonight. We got Brian Lazar and Ronnie Rance coming up in a few minutes, but let's get to Craig in Baton Rouge. Craig, you're on the post-game show.
Yeah, hey guys. So what I want to comment on is when it comes to the offense, I just remember before Canada and the Miles era, the passing game was so bad. It was literally, if we got a 3rd and long, 3rd and 5 or above, you were punting the ball. Didn't matter who we were playing. We were playing anybody. It was so bad. With the Canada offense, I mean, we're actually we look really bad, but we're still a balanced team. We can still convert 3rd and longs. I mean, when you look at tonight, the offensive line was so bad. You would think if we had a strong O-line, we could have held off, run the ball, pass blocked on those end arounds, we could have probably run up the score on them. So to me, it's just like we need to build a team again. It does seem, I might be wrong. I mean, I don't play football or anything, but if we could build a team, a 2011 talent team with these coaches, we could be a great team. It's just a matter of getting recruits back, building guys up. I mean, what do you think if we couldn't? Is it Canada's responsibility? Is it the offensive coordinator's responsibility to coach the offensive lineman technique and get them going? That's kind of my question. I'm going to hang up and listen. Thank you.
Thank you, Craig. Go ahead, buddy.
Well, look, we all knew that he was coming in with a new offense, and they did a pretty good job of that in the spring, and we know that the spring game got shut down halfway through because of the crazy weather. TK, A lot of movement, and you look at the first play. Remember the first play of the year where they all moved around and had the unbalanced line and all that? We all thought that was cool and fancy and all. Unfortunately, it was against BYU, which was a very bad football team. LSU has been pushed around at the line of scrimmage in the last 4 games. Mississippi State has gotten clobbered by 2 SEC teams the previous 2 weeks. The Syracuse coach, I guess you heard that, huh? He talked about how NC State's a lot better than LSU. We know that's the case. But the bottom line is that from a fundamental standpoint, you saw every ugly part of football tonight. You saw a very ugly field goal attempt that was hooked and not close.
Troy had one of them too.
You know, Troy had them too. You saw 4 turnovers. You saw poor tackling. But if you watch the replay, folks, and I know you'll have to stomach that if you see the SEC network or ESPNU or whatever when they replay it, LSU was being pushed all night long. And TK, you hit a guy at the line of scrimmage, and he's falling 4 yards ahead for a 4-yard gain. Some real problems on their strength, their power, their tackling, and obviously very disinterested tonight.
Let's go to Patrick in Houston. Patrick, you're on a post-game show.
Hello, Patrick. Listen to your phone. All right, Patrick. Well.
All right, Patrick is going to go, so we will go to J-Rock in Denham Springs. You're on the post-game show.
Go ahead, J-Rock.
Hey, man, what's going on?
How are you tonight?
Oh, man, I've been better. Man, I don't even know where to begin. I just,
There's nowhere to begin, J-Rock. That sums it up.
You want us to get Dandy Don queued up for you?
Yeah.
Turn out the lights. The party's over.
I've been going to, I'm about to tell you, I'm 40 years old. I've been going to LSU games since I was probably 5 or 6.
All right, 35 years.
This is bad, man. I don't even know, what the silver lining is here and where we go from here. I don't, I'm at a loss for words of what I've seen. It looks like the team quit to me, to be honest with you.
No, hey, that last touchdown for Troy, the ball was snapped, and all the Tigers were just standing around. I made a comment to Marty here at the stage, said them guys just need to buy a ticket because they're not playing football.
Right. Yeah. It's I'm trying to find something to build on coming up in the SEC, but you got to go to Florida, and then you got Auburn coming here. I mean, it could get really ugly.
Florida's going to be 10, 12-point favorites. Maybe more.
I cannot imagine, J-Rock, a first half as bad as what we saw tonight.
Yeah, it's
And this is against Troy. This is against Troy.
Right. Yeah, that's what I was saying. I'm sitting with the guys I sit with up there, and I'm like, man, this is against Troy. I mean, this isn't the SEC team we're playing right here, and you're just getting pushed around on the line of scrimmage like we're a high school team. I don't, it's just. It's depressing, man. I don't know what. I was hoping y'all could give me something.
Well, I would say this to you. You hit the nail on the head when you said you didn't know where to begin. I don't think anybody knows where to begin, but guess who better know? That's Coach Orgeron.
Yeah, J-Rock, they don't have any difference makers on this football team. Now, listen, we know Arden Key and Darius Geis were both preseason first-team All-Americans. Arden got heavy and is out of shape. By the way, he didn't have nearly the snaps tonight as he had the first 2 nights. And Darius Geis has become a real distraction and a cancer to this team because he can't stay off of social media.
Yeah.
And when you get consumed with that, you start to represent some ideas that can really infiltrate the locker room. And he said, I don't know, 3 or 4 weeks ago, I'm going to get off Twitter and social media, and he was back on the next day showing him on an ATV doing wheelies.
And saying he'll do whatever he wants to do to have fun.
They don't have the leadership. They don't have the line of scrimmages. But the reality of it there's not one player on that team that deserves all SEC. And
not all Louisiana.
Well, I'm just tell you, Orton Key and Darius Geis were two of the top coming into the year. You don't have any difference makers, J-Rock.
Yeah, I agree, man. And I don't understand how you can be that out of shape with a shoulder injury. It seems like you could be riding a bike or doing something to keep in shape. I mean, that just blows my mind.
Me and TK aren't going to comment on that.
Hey, J-Rock, thank you.
Thank you, J-Rock. I finally got a laugh an hour into the program.
All right, let's go to Robert in Baton Rouge. Robert, you're on the post-game show.
Hey, TK, how you doing?
Good.
I tell you what, I lost confidence in what was going to be something this year when the mystery surrounding Key on his injury, his disappearance for a semester, Geis is here, he's there, he's everywhere. He really doesn't seem like he wants to play. He comes down the hill this afternoon, jumping up and down, bouncing left and right, shaking hands. Just didn't seem like he was hurt at all. And, you know, you can get away with rah-rah coaching when you win it. You can get away with anything when you win it.
Right.
But if you're not going to win and you're not going to have that locker room chemistry, and you start losing, that rah-rah crap is going to disappear in a heartbeat, and you're going to have 48 ships going in different directions. And you guys may not be able to say it on the air, what you know behind the scenes, but it's absolutely true that in the locker room, there's division. And if the head coach can't cut out what's causing it right at the beginning and he lets it go, the team is going to collapse. And if anybody has been watching football, whether it's at LSU or any other university, and they can't pick up what you're saying tonight on this show, that in the locker room, there's division. They don't really believe in the rah-rah coaching anymore. And all these slogans, maybe it ought to be a slogan, you can't win, go home. Go home wherever you came from. If you can't win, if you can't play as a team and have a desire to win, you need to go back home and start over again.
Robert, I don't know how old you are, but were you following LSU football when Bill Arnsparger was the coach?
Yes, I was.
He threw Stan Humphries off the team. Stan won a national championship at Louisiana Monroe, then known as Northeast Louisiana, and he started a Super Bowl for the San Diego Chargers. He was a quarterback. Skip Bourbon threw Joey Bell off the baseball team, who ended up being an all-star many times over in Major League Baseball. Those two guys were problems in the locker room. Those coaches eliminated those guys. They didn't have those kind of problems going forward. Coach O's in his first year as a permanent head coach, there's at least one, probably more, that it would be better served, because they'll be lucky to go to Independence Bowl this year. It'd be better served to get rid of them now and move forward and get out there on a recruiting trail and try to have a better team, next year. Am I throwing the towel in next year? I'm not throwing it in, but I'm loosening up my arm. How about that?
I think you're right. I think you're right. I think if you would do that, you'd see a difference in attitude. You'd see a difference in effort. And the outcome of the game could be LSU's favor.
It's not his M.O., though, guys. Leonard Fournette wasn't supposed to play against Florida last year.
And he let him get talked into.
He let him get dressed and played, and they lost the game.
Done that.
Darius Geis made the decision last week, Robert.
After O said he was out.
On Thursday, I practice, I feel better, I want to play. They better start realizing there better be some fear factor for the coach. And I'm starting to see parallels with Mike Archer and Ed Ogeron. Ed Ogeron was on his staff as a defensive coach, a D-line coach. And you have the one relationship as a D-line coach. Now when he elevates to the head coach, it makes a difference. And my point is that you cannot let the guys control what's going on.
Buddy, and you're 100% correct. I played college sports. It's different when you talk to the guy as the head coach instead of the guy that got promoted to head coach. I'll leave it at that. Thank you, Robert. Appreciate
it, Robert.
All right, let's try Mark in Baton Rouge, and then we got to get to a break. Go ahead, Mark.
Hey, guys. Another bad night. Buddy, 3 weeks ago, you said something very, very, I thought, prescient. You said that, in at times of adversity, you find out exactly what you're made of. And I think we're finding out real quick.
That's a very good point that I cannot disagree with. I think we know now. There's 5 games in the books, okay?
Right.
And then, can we find 10 things that they did really good in 5 games?
Not a lot. I mean, I was really positive after the Brigham Young game, and
well, Brigham Young's done nothing since.
Right.
And the next 7 games are appreciably more difficult than the first 5.
Right. And what do we got coming up down the line? We got Florida, like you said.
Florida, then Auburn, then Ole Miss, then an open date in Alabama.
Right.
And then Tennessee, Arkansas, A&M. I think I got that right.
Yeah.
I got a lot right tonight,
actually,
buddy.
Arkansas, Tennessee, and A&M.
Okay, I've got a lot of stuff right tonight, buddy.
Yeah, you didn't have that right. Arkansas is before Tennessee.
I had 24-20, though.
You did. Hey, Mark, give him the credit. Listen, Mark, what my point was this. We're all good winners.
Yeah.
But when you lose, you have to look right in the mirror. Is it me? Is it him? How are we going to get this thing together? The irony of all this, folks, is that one team, one heartbeat, one culture. And I'm not impressed with the culture of the football team. Mark, we said it in week 2. They got a bunch of undisciplined yappers. They can't back up what they talk on the field.
All right, Mark, thank you.
No problem.
We got to get to a break. We come back. Brian Lazar will join us from Tiger Stadium. We'll find out what happened in the locker room right after this pause on WUBR and Pelican Sports TV. Stay with us.
Hello, my name is Debbie. Welcome to Debbie's Bridal, a Formal Affair.
My name is Raven. I work at Debbie's Bridal, and she makes your dreams come true.
Acord Eye Clinic Vision Source is located on Perkins Road in Baton Rouge, offering full-service optical and lab work. Dr. Shonda Acord and the professionally trained staff pride themselves on service, complete eye exams, help with contact lenses, and selection of frames featuring Silhouette, Gucci, Jimmy Choo, and all the top lines. State-of-the-art equipment including OptiMap, which digitally photographs your retina. Call Acord Eye Clinic for an appointment, 225-767-3937. That's 225-767-3937. Visit the website, visionsource-br.com. All patients of all ages are welcome. Acord Eye Clinic, Vision Source.
Hi, I'm Bobby Yarborough with Manda Fine Meats. Here at Manda, we know what the folks of South Louisiana love. They love great flavored smoked sausage, delicious deli meats, and specialty items like boudin and andouille sausage. Manda Fine Meats has been providing these products since 1947. We produce them right here in Baton Rouge, so you know you're always getting the freshest product at your local grocery store. Manda Fine Meats. Taste the fresh local flavor in everything we make. Make it Manda every time.
Hi, I'm Jordy Helper for Tremonti's Meat and Seafood Market at 12451 Old Jefferson Highway. Chairman's Reserve steaks, their pork, their chicken, their seafood, top of the line. Primo barbecue pits, Icy Tech coolers. They can go anywhere and cater anything for you. Go to 751-7665 to call Tremonti's Meat and Seafood Market, where good meat ain't cheap and cheap meat ain't good. Tremonti's Meat and Seafood Market.
No one can stop me when I taste the feeling. Nothing could ever bring me down. Nothing could ever bring me down. taste the feeling.
We continue with the Pelican Sports post-game show. To Tiger Stadium we go. Brian Lazar, TigerBait.com. Brian, what did Coach O have to say after the ball game?
Well, he said obviously it was a disappointing performance. He said they got out-coached and outplayed. They got to figure out. He says, I can't lose this. I got to keep the team together. We've got to figure out why we're not playing well, whether it's, assignments, whether it's scheme, whether it's personnel. And then here is the most telling comment of the entire press conference. He said, we did not start the game off the right way. We give the ball off to our third running back. If I had to make the call, we would have given the ball to Darrell Williams. Now, I'm not pointing fingers, but that's what I would have done. Now, let's analyze all this. Number one, I don't care if Ed Orgeron knows what the first call of the game is going to be. You're paying an offensive coordinator a pretty piece of money, and that's his job to do. But the fact that he then came out and said all the calls go through me, and I probably should not have let that call go, all that tells me, and I begin to hear rumblings of that this week, there's some issues between the head coach and the offensive coordinator.
Right.
Period.
Yep.
And he came out tonight. That's criticizing Matt Canada. It's like,
sure.
You made the wrong call. What are you doing giving the ball to our third best running back on the first play of the game? And yeah, okay. And then he tried to deflect the criticism by saying, well, it goes through me, and I probably should have stopped it. But no, not if you. There's no way. You may stick your head in. You know what the game plan
Should have stopped.
And you may stick your head in and say, what's the first play? I don't even care if you do that. I don't care if I really don't care if Ed Orgeron knows what the first play of the game is going to be. But the fact that the way he came out and said that, he obviously, that was a big public criticism of Matt Canada, and there must be some problems.
I agree with you, and you maybe, in my opinion, you keep that behind closed doors. But obviously he was frustrated. You got to stop that on Friday in the team meeting, not in the post game.
I don't care. If Ed Orgeron doesn't know what the first play of the game is.
Well, no, I get, and I agree with you on that. But I mean, what's he thinking when he sees Brissett run out there? I'm assuming he saw that.
Yeah, I would imagine so. Look, they did the same thing. Remember the first play of the year? I think they had Williams and Geis both on the field, and one was in the running back spot, and one was in a wing. And that's just what the formation they had tonight. Williams was on the field; he was at the wing, and Brissett was the running back. And they gave the ball to Brissett, and he fumbled. And look, I can't believe that you hand the ball to Brissett on the first play of the game. I agree with that. This is not like putting Geis in the wing and giving the ball to Darrell Williams for the first play of the game. This is a kid that, now I know he got the big third down carry last week against Syracuse, but I don't think I would have done that myself.
But Brian, here's the problem. Just like when Coach O said we're going to run all these guys because of the penalties. Why is he so transparent with some of the things that should not be being released to the media? He should have never made that comment about Matt Canada. And let's be honest, one play, one fumble, you give up 7, but they got their butts handed to them all night long in the line of scrimmage. Let's address that reality, in fact.
Well, right. I mean, that's the next thing I'm going to. Now, look, you're exactly right. That's one play, but physically, it was even. I'm not going to say that Troy out-physicaled them, but LSU certainly didn't control the line of scrimmage. But, so, yeah, that's a problem. But, look, if you don't have this quarterback situation is going to get out of hand. I didn't know. Now, look, I'm glad Ed came out and said this. He said that Danny Etling could have played to start the third quarter. So he obviously made the change. And, again, I'm not saying that who's making that decision. I'm not sure. I'm not going to say that's Matt Canada saying we're going to change quarterbacks. That's just things I'm hearing. So they go with Brennan. Let's look at what he did. First series, 3 and out. Second series, they were driving the football, and Derek Dillon fumbled, inside the 10-yard line. Third series, they get the fumble right back at the 4 and score. Fourth series, he drives them into Troy territory, and then the biggest play of the game, they're down 17-7, and Brennan throws the interception. That was the turning point. That really ended the comeback. Then he goes back to Edmonds. Well, he starts 2 true freshmen on the right side of the offensive line tonight. Now, he said that this week in practice, they thought Sadiq Charles was a better right tackle than Adrian McGee. Okay, so that's you can't go. It's almost as, are they getting to the point where they just want to play as many freshmen as possible? Are they getting close to writing off the year? I mean, I don't know. I don't know if LSU, this team is that bad that you're going to say, okay, we're just going to give up on all the old players and play as many true freshmen as possible because we're building for the future. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I just think, you go into this game tonight, you know that obviously there's some issues between Ogeron and Canada. Your best offensive player, Geis, doesn't play. Your best defensive player, Arden Key, he made 4 tackles, and you hardly even see him during the game. So I mean, he's been no factor in the first 5 games of the year. So look, there's some issues with this team right now. So there's in all kinds of ways.
Brian, tell us what's happening at TigerBait.com. Basketball started practice yesterday. Baseball starts tomorrow. What you guys got at TigerBait.com?
www.tigerbait.com. We had coverage of the first day of basketball practice. Will Wade's going to open up practice every Tuesday before the season starts, so we'll have some more coverage there. There was a story up earlier this week about fall baseball, which starts tomorrow. And we got an interesting 7 games left in this season with this LSU football team and where this program is heading.
All right, Brian, thank you very much. All right, we got to take a break, come back. We got to get Ronnie Rance from the stadium, and then we got to get Steve, who's been holding. That'll be up after this pause. Troy 24, LSU 21. They play Florida 2:30 next week in Gainesville. We'll be here about 6 p.m. with the post-game show. We'll be right back. Stay with us. Cypress Lake Apartments are conveniently located off Segan Lane in Baton Rouge, a CLK multifamily management property. Come see this community, which has many amenities, including swimming pools, fitness room, playground, and much more. 1, 2, and 3 bedroom apartments. Stop by Cypress Lake Apartments, call 225-293-6789, or go online, live at cypresslakeapts.com.
6, 5, 4, 3.
I'm back. Roger Cador here. Come watch Clarence Bugs and I as we team up to bring up all of the positive things taking place at Southern University in the state of Louisiana. It can all be seen on the Pelican Sports. That's the best one. That's it. That's a wrap. That's a wrap. That's the best one.
Creel Tree Service is a licensed and insured tree service providing tree and stump removal, topping, trimming, cabling, pruning, and fertilizing. We have free stump removal with takedowns, free estimates, affordable rates, and senior citizens discounts. Call 774-TREE. That's 774-8733. Get your yard ready for the warmer weather. If it deals with a tree, call me, Creel Tree Service, 774-8733. That's 774-TREE.
Hi, I am Dr. Farrell Frugier Jr., and I am a general dentist at Frugier Family Dentistry. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to Catholic High School, LSU, and LSU School of Dentistry in New Orleans, where I received my DDS degree in 1986. I always have and will continue to be committed to continuing my education, to invest in technology which makes the diagnosis and delivery of dentistry more thorough, more comfortable, and more aesthetically pleasing. In our practice, we are here to serve the patients. We want to improve their quality of life and to develop relationships with our patients. In dentistry, we have a chance to impact lives on a daily basis, not just by doing dentistry, but by getting to know them and being a part of their life. We also believe in giving back to our community. So every year, we give back to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, Toys for Tots, and Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. Please stop by and visit our office. We would love to take care of you and your family.
Hooper Road Car Care in Central has been serving customers for over 24 years. Locally owned by Donald and Gina Gaspard, they provide all types of car care, including brakes, alignment, tune-ups, oil changes, AC service, transmission, computer diagnostic, and much more. Hooper Road Car Care also provides towing services. Call 225-262-7127. Open Monday through Friday, 7:30 to 5:30, 9695 Hooper Road in Central. Continue with the post-game show. We go back to Tiger Stadium. Ronnie Rance of Sports Shorts Radio, Sports Shorts TV. Ronnie, I know you caught up with some players. What was it like in the locker room?
Well, it was what you would expect, TK. Pretty somber locker room. But I tell you what, the thing I was impressed with, there wasn't a lot of excuses. You know, they didn't try to sell you, oh, we did some good things. I mean, everybody to a man was, hey, we got to be better. We need better leadership. We've done a terrible job the last couple weeks getting out the blocks early in the first half. Don't know why. Practices have been good, but you know, all the leaders took it upon themselves to say, hey, we got to get it straight. Starts with us. You know, they started calling out some people. I know they're having a defensive meeting. Devin White talked about, you know, a defensive meeting, and he's going to and rattling some cages.
Jumbo, what's happened at the line of scrimmage here in the last couple of weeks? And we know that LSU hadn't been deep there, and there's been some injuries. But if you look at the film, Chattanooga, Syracuse, and Troy have all kind of played really good at the line of scrimmage, and even at times tonight pushed them around, falling forward for 4 yards after being hit. What's going on at the line of scrimmage, and did anybody address that?
Well, I talked to, you know, Clapp, and then actually I talked to T-Bob Aberry, who was outside the locker room a little bit. And, you know, there's just, you know, T-Bob was, you know, shaking his head, and Clapp didn't make a lot of excuses. They just basically said the offensive line play's been bad. You know, I tried to push, you know, Clapp for reasons and what they could do to fix it, and they said just miscommunication, not people not doing their job. It's obvious that the continuity isn't there. They've shaked up the lineup out of necessity due to injury, as well as bad play. And T-Bob Aberry puts it on back to, you know, before the season. The lack of depth also is a main concern, and I think that lack of depth, guys, is not giving them the option to necessarily bench some people or do a whole lot of overhaul changes. It kind of stuck with what they have, and look, at the end of the day, they, even when they were down, had to pass, had the ball with 2 minutes to go. They had to keep a running back in the block because they didn't have confidence that they could block, you know, the defensive line of Troy. So they had to keep an extra backer in when you desperately needed them to go out the pass pattern. So that just tells you they got mega problems.
Ronnie, but I'm going to tell you a text message we got, then I want you to plug Sports Shorts Radio and Sports Shorts TV. A text message came in and said, how about that? LSU going to lose to 3 teams from the state of Alabama this year.
Wow. Yeah, that's did they play South Alabama this year, or was that last year?
That was the one canceled, but Auburn and Alabama, LSU's not beating them based on what we saw. Ronnie, tell us all about Sports Shorts Radio and Sports Shorts TV.
By the way, congratulations on your Nostradamus prediction yesterday, 24-20 Troy on the radio. Sports Shorts TV, Mondays at 9, Tuesdays at 8. As Buddy would say, it's sure to be a spicy one this week. And then, of course, Sports Shorts Radio, 6 to 8. We'll be at the Ice House Bar and Grill and Airline in Baton Rouge. Come see us. That's on ESPN Radio.
Can I get a little dandy Don as you get out of here?
Whew, Dandy Don right now. What would he be drinking? This one's going to have a lot of people drinking, and I tell you what, buddy, they got to go 3-4 in their next 7 to be bowl eligible. I don't know. What do you think?
It's scary. After tonight, look, that had to be one of the worst first halves you've ever seen in Tiger Stadium, huh, Ronnie?
No, that was Curly Holman era-esque, if not worse. Yep.
All right, Ronnie, thank you.
By the way, guys, Josh Booty off the hook for that pick six against UAB.
Yeah. 49-game streak of winning non-conference
17
games.
homecoming games snapped.
Wow.
All the streaks going by the wayside. Thank you, Jumbo.
All right, Steve's been patiently waiting. We appreciate him holding on. Steve in Paradise, Louisiana. Steve, how are you?
Hey, guys, I'm doing well. And look, I've heard zero of the post-game show. Can't pick up the TV signal here, but
I got to get you the app.
I want to talk about zero X's and O's. I don't want to quote Kathy with a K and talk about the Swiss cheese defense or how bad my offensive line is. But, guys, I don't think the Ed Ogeron regime is going to be able to withstand the obstacles that are placed in front of them. Now, I think with the firing of Joe Oliva, the writing's on the wall. There's no more Ed Ogeron next year. As much as I wanted him to succeed, there's no cohesiveness with this football team at all. And it's exactly what I did not think was going to happen with his football team this year. If you'd have told me this the day he was hired, and we were all excited after throttling Texas A&M and setting records on offense and shutting down Louisville in a bowl game, I just never saw this coming. I don't know about y'all.
A lot of guys on the field against A&M and Louisville are in NFL now. That's part of it.
I realize
that's part of it.
What I'm seeing, though, guys, I'm not seeing these guys aren't playing together. They can't seem to do anything for any length of time. They can't get something going and put it in gear and continue with it. It looks like disorganization, and it flatly, and honestly, I hate to say it, but it's almost like he's lost the players. And if he hadn't lost them before this game, I don't know if he's going to be able to get them back after this.
No, the locker room's fractured. Here's a text. Recruits will not want to play for a coach who can't control the locker room. Coach O's got to start tonight or tomorrow morning and put the pieces back together because he does not have the locker room. There's severe division in the locker room, and if he doesn't know it, shame on him. He better hit it head on first thing in the morning.
Well, and I agree with that. And look, I hate to even say these things. It's very discouraging when you look and see and you have no faith in the team to be able to play. Look, a loss to UAB is a bad loss. A loss to Troy is a horrible loss. I don't know if you can compare the two because of the fact that you're not really, in a way, I guess you're rebuilding a program. Maybe none of us just thought of it as a rebuilding. But Marcus Spears hit the nail on the head a couple of weeks ago.
Yep.
And I agreed with him then, but I didn't want to admit it.
I told you that on that Monday. We had a spicy talk 2 weeks ago, and I sat there and I said, Steve, I hate to tell you, mediocrity is sitting in. Not that I know it because this guy next to me actually predicted the loss. Steve, I think the most alarming thing, TK, most alarming thing tonight, once again, just getting dominated or pushed around at the line of scrimmage. And then the ugly, you saw a lot of frustration on that field tonight, and that's where some of those turnovers came from.
You saw a stadium that was 80% empty in the fourth quarter.
Well, that's exactly why I'm telling you that. I don't know if Joe Oliva, look, he damn near ran the basketball team in the ground, ran it in the dirt before they finally figured out that they better go try to make a good hire, and I think that's going to be successful. I'm not against the hiring of Coach Ogeron. I'm not happy with the buyout that Coach O has.
Absolutely ludicrous.
Yeah, look, absolutely, which is exactly why this guy, the way he handled the Florida fiasco last year, the way he's handled the basketball team, the Johnny Jones hire, look, we're all excited, anytime a new coach is coming in, but, he didn't go out and get the big name. Someone, look, I think everybody would have been a little bit more patient with a Tom Herman if he'd have come to LSU. And
he wasn't going to get Tom Herman last year.
Well, but what I'm saying is I get that point. look, I was excited about the hiring of Coach Orgeron. The reason I called tonight is to tell you, I don't think they're going to be able to overcome this.
Yeah.
Because now he's going to be in the same position Les Miles was in at the Tennessee fiasco, where he's going to have his distractors. No matter what he does, how good he does, there's always going to be that division in the fan base. And I just don't know if they can overcome it.
All right, Steve, appreciate it. Appreciate it. We got real quick. We got to go to Chris in Lafayette. Chris, you got a minute and a half. Hello, Chris.
I've been listening all night, and I just wanted to let y'all know that Alabama's winning 50-something to 3 right now.
Oh.
So we talk about rebuilding. There's no such thing as rebuilding. That's a farce. Key and Geis, I can tell you about these two guys. They've got the Leonard Fournette syndrome. I'm getting ready for the NFL. They're not going to want to play, and you can see it. It shows. One of the interesting things, two things, Etlin tonight, looking at the same receiver. He's a 5-year senior. Looks at the one receiver who's covered by two guys, and that's the guy he's going to throw to. One thing that's disappointing is losing the defense that LSU should have attained this year. You got a guy in Crowley, Selvin, who cannot play because he cannot get the credits to be eligible to play football. How did he graduate from high school? That is the point that I cannot understand. Now, here's a guy that LSU needed to depend on to be playing nose guard this year.
But he's 40 pounds overweight. He wouldn't have helped.
But, okay, are you recruiting these guys? I mean, how many defensive linemen left, got kicked out, got put in jail, you name it?
Attrition has hurt him.
Hey, and you know what? It's just going to continue. But the rebuilding phase is a force. And that's absolutely. You look at Alabama tonight.
Quickly.
In the first 5 minutes, they had 21 points.
Yep.
Come on, guys. Hey, this is a sad situation in Baton Rouge. And you know what? It all comes down just like to the NFL or the NBA. People are going to show up if there's a product. If there's no product, they're not going to stay.
Thank you, Chris. Appreciate it. Hey, buddy, a lot's been said tonight. A lot of text messages, a lot of phone calls. We both got personal messages to the phones. It's not good when LSU loses 24-21 to Troy. All the radio shows this week, from Jordy to you to me to Dave. I mean, everybody's going to be fired up next week. And I don't know. You made the comment to me this week, nobody cares anymore. They're going to care less now. It may be a flat week. I don't know. But the Tigers play at 2:30 in Gainesville against Florida. We'll be here about 6 o'clock with the post-game show. That's what we'll have to do. Buddy, your final comments, and I'd like to get some green onion Manda sausage for, once again, winning your contest.
Well, I'm glad you did that. I didn't think that you had a chance. I thought LSU would win by 2 touchdowns to 17. There are a lot of problems here in the capital city, not only with football, but as we know what's going on in this city. So we hope that everybody has a safe night on their way home. Hang in there. The decline is real. You're going to have to look in the mirror tomorrow when the sun comes up and say your LSU Tigers are no longer elite.
Marcus Spears said it 2 weeks ago.
But let's hang in there, and we'll talk about it on the radio this week.
All right. I do appreciate all the text messages, all the calls. The TV portion of this will repeat on Sunday morning at 9 and at 10:30. Appreciate the support of watching this program. Don't forget Tigers Roar next Wednesday. YouTube.com/Pelican Broadcasting, and get our app. It's a free app, WUBR. On behalf of everybody in the Pelican crew, we appreciate you out there. My partner, buddy Sanji, Ronnie Rance, Brian Lazar for reports from Tiger Stadium. 24-21 LSU, 0-1 in the Sun Belt Conference.
See you next week.